match day so far. Everton really impressive, having been a goal down against the Baggies, who played the second half at Goodison, ironically, with 10. 5-2 final score, Calvert-Lewin with 3. Leeds beating Fulham with the best of 7 goals. Palace, of course, winning at Manchester United amongst much VAR controversy, but I really didn't get that. Arsenal 2, West Ham 1. 5 for Spurs today at Southampton, having trailed 3-0. Brighton 1 at Newcastle, and Liverpool, as we've just seen, have beaten Chelsea by 2-0. So we've got a table that's beginning to take a little bit of shape, not just yet. And professionals would always tell you, well, I never look at it, but they lie. They do.
We all do.
Of course they do. Having played 1, Sheffield United, Manchester United are behind. So too City, of course, who play tomorrow night, haven't yet got off the mark. Burnley and Villa will play tomorrow. Top half, Chelsea down on the weekend. Leeds and Brighton both up. Really good performance from Brighton today at St James's. Wolves having played just the 1. Spurs now off the mark. Leicester about to play against Burnley. Palace into 4th on the back of a really good start. 100% Palace, like Liverpool, Arsenal and Everton. So we're off to Leicester very shortly, where Burnley visit. Arabic coverage available on HD2. We kick off at 2100 Mecca. We'll get around to Andy's thoughts in a moment on what we've just seen. Liverpool winning at Stamford Bridge by 2-0. Is it too simple? Everybody makes mistakes, Nigel. Andy's always saying, having been in the game, you two, it's hard to criticise, but big error one end, penalty save the other. Is that the difference between being good and good enough? So, Sassuolo and Cagliari, excuse me. HD 4 for that. They're into the second half there. Granada, Alaves, half time in the other two. 1 apiece, Granada and their opposition today. And Betis, Valladolid, Betis 2 up. Still to come, the Italian champions play tonight. Real Madrid start their season in earnest. They travel to Sociedad, and Marseille play Lille after that fairly lively game in Paris last week. So, Andy, excuse me, is that the difference at this level? You're always talking about small margins. Keeper that's prone to an error one end and one at the other that you know is reliable.
Well, it helps, Richard, enormously. You know, there's only probably 2 players in the last 15 years that I can think about that have never suffered from lack of confidence, and that would be Messi and Ronaldo. I think everybody else who's ever played the game at some time in his life has had a little bit of confidence issues. Nige, myself, anybody. And I think that's where Kepa is right here, right now. I think his confidence is shot. I think he's talented. I think he's a good goalkeeper. But right now, he instills no confidence, I don't think, in any Chelsea player who's defending in front of him. And I think Frank's realised that. And I think that tonight, his mistake tonight has made Frank's mind up, if he hadn't already, that he needs to change the goalkeeper. I remember Ron Atkinson saying to me at some time, Richard, when I was his coach at Villa, sometimes with a goalkeeper, even though you like him and he's a good lad and he's not done bad, you have to leave him out for his own sake and the team's. And I think that's where they're at now. Even if they didn't get the new keeper out, and I'd leave him out next game. Because making mistakes like this, I mean, the defenders will just look round and go, oh no, lost Christensen, and we don't need you doing that. We all make mistakes. I've said that, you're right. But that's cataclysmic.
Yes.
You know, it's an error that finished the game, if it wasn't already. It totally finished it. As soon as Liverpool went 2-0 up, that was it. They controlled the game, wasn't a problem. Did give away a sloppy penalty, but the keeper saved it. And therein lies the difference.
I was just saying, Nigel, wasn't I, watching that, the only way I can see for Chelsea is that you send him on loan for a season with a view to somebody, if you get lucky and he has a good season, giving you 35 and a half back, but they're never, ever going to see the outlay again.
No, no, for sure not. Especially in the form that he is right now. You know, that's what Andy was touching base on as well. The confidence level on his part right now is so low. You see that his body language. He doesn't have no confidence. And as a goalkeeper, that is even double frustrated because you only have one position to defend. You can only play on one position. So when you're out, that means you're out. So you have no chance to play on another position. So he knows that as well. He knows. You see that in the way how he plays, the way how he reacts to his defenders. You know, the excessive finger pointing to his defenders what to do, just to give him a little bit more confidence, and also to show his coach that he's capable to remain number one of Chelsea.
Meanwhile, at the other end, you've got a keeper that saved a penalty from Jorginho today, who doesn't miss. But I repeat, small margins.
Exactly.
This goes 2-1, who knows?
Exactly, and that is exactly what we touched base on before the second half started. What is the difference in goalkeepers? By Kepa, you never have a feeling that he is being the main man that saves a lot of goals and saves a lot of penalties. At the other side, Alisson, if you see how he defends his goal, if you see how many points he saves for Liverpool, and especially also this goalkeeper, it can turn around. After this is 2-1, with 10 men, there's all to play for.
A couple of things here. Memo to all those who got hysterical about the retake at Old Trafford. The reason the penalty was retaken at Old Trafford yesterday is because the keeper was off his line. There's an example of a keeper being able to save a penalty and doing it correctly. As Andy said yesterday, if you're 2 inches offside, you're offside. If you're 2 inches off your line, you're off your line. So it can be done. But here's a point I'd like to refer back to you, Mr. Gray, on the opening weekend of the season. I like my centre forward to take penalties. Right? If Werner takes last week's, he might be two in two. Right now he's 2 in zip, and I'm saying, when's Werner going to score a goal?
Well, let me counter that by saying Jorginho hasn't missed one yet.
Granted, I know, but I'm just saying, I want you off the mark, Timo. There's your pen, there's another one, 2 goals, brilliant, pressure off.
Yeah, but you can't just say to Jorginho, by the way, we're taking you off pens because you haven't missed any. Oh, thanks very much for that, Gaffer, that's great. I know what you're saying.
I can,
well, that's why
I can, Andy. He's not as important to me doing what Werner does, which is score goals. I know what you're saying, he hasn't missed one, but centre forwards take penalties, don't they? Or they should do.
Well, not every centre forward took penalties, I have to say.
I know, there's an exception, all right, okay.
But no, what I'm saying, Richard, the most important thing for Frank right now is to win a football match, right? Now, the penalty taker, who's been solid, reliable, hasn't looked like missing since he arrived in the country, right? Has been penalty after penalty. Funnily enough, and I wish I'd been with you guys in the studio, I never fancied him tonight.
Really? Fascinating. Why?
I really didn't.
Why?
Because the night, it was something about the game, Richard. Nothing was going right for Chelsea. The standing off, the goalkeeper's error, Liverpool cruising. And I think it just shook Liverpool a bit. And I thought, the penalty, I don't fancy him. And I thought, I fancy the big keeper to make a save. It was like the contrast in keepers, you mentioned it. We've got the keeper at one end, you know, conceding the second goal, it was all important. The keeper in the other end, making a great save. You know, Frank will look